Guys, we're back.
All
And
right.
we're doing The Interesting Thing That Happened at Perfect Acres Inc. by Barbara Brooks Wallace. Okay, we're going to put Oreo Jr. back there so he can take a little nap because, baby, do you remember where we left off, Scott?
Um, was it Mr.
Snoot.
Snoop, Rupert Snoop?
Drooper. Oh, yeah, we
He
got to
was
watch
in
how we
the
think.
house and he's kind of looking at him, but he can't see him because they're all covered up.
Yeah, his aunties was rolling down the street, getting on everybody's nerves, being crazy. Okay, well, let's see where this story takes us. Are y'all ready to go into? Have y'all ever wondered to yourself, like, what would it be like to be in a storybook? You ever wondered that, Scott?
Yeah, probably.
We gonna find out today.
Oh.
This is called Changes. This chapter. Now what? Asked Perfecta, her invisible eyes glued nervously to the door behind which Mr. Snoot and the two aunties had disappeared. We'll do what we started to do, replied Puck, suddenly materializing as he stuffed his covers of night into his pocket. Shouldn't we stay invisible? Perfecta asked. I think we're safer now, Purr. Puck shifted his feet uncomfortably. I mean, for the time being, at any rate. Clearer and clearer, the covers of the night were to protect them against Mr. Snoot. But neither Uncle Mai nor Puck had wanted to say anything about how they knew him. Hmm. How do y'all know him? Do y'all owe this man some money? The friends thought she and Puck had become, and friends though she and Puck had become, sorry. Perfecta didn't think she should ask the same question again. Girl, ask that question until you get an answer. You know what? That's going to be one of my lessons learned. If you are unsure about something, keep asking that question until you get an answer. I mean, you could revise it, but make sure you keep asking that question until you get an answer. She would have to find out on her own. No, you don't. You just keep asking the question. At any rate, Mr. Snoot and Auntie Glumper and Squint now away elsewhere. Taking off the covers did seem a safe enough thing to do. And Perfecta certainly did want to see Puck rather than just hear his voice coming out of some shadow lurking in the dim, dusky corridor. But now they had to enter the room that so recently held the grim trio. What y'all think they're gonna find in that room? Put it in the comment section. Scott, what you think they're gonna find in that room?
I don't know.
I know, you know what? I'm gonna take a wild guess of what it smelled like. It probably smelled like an attic. Cause them two chicks sound like they like, you know, they house smell like an attic. Anyway, who was in who was it the three had left behind? And what could be causing that person to produce those mournful sobs? Girl, they probably in there crying because it smelled like mothballs. And what could be causing that person to produce those mournful sobs? Could it have anything to do with the secret of the old house? Girl, can we leave that alone? You talking about you shouldn't ask the same question over and over. We got to let this house having emotions go. You projecting. Anyway, Perfecta decided she could have gone on guessing forever and probably never come close to guessing the first thing about the curious scene that met them. They found themselves in an enormous room with a glass lamp glaring at them from the ceiling. It was also glaring at a large number of soldiers dressed as if for a parade and lined up against the wall. Okay, hey, we got the soldiers in the house. Yes, we love soldiers. They were magnificent in scarlet jackets with brass buttons, black trousers so starched that they seemed to be holding up the soldiers rather than the other way around, tall black hats, and sparkling white belts that held gleaming silver swords. And what was even more curious was the dozen or more horses in the room. Okay, we got some horses again. This sex story we got with horses and carriages and whatnot. They were not just standing around as horses usually do, but were sitting in chairs and lounging against the walls. Yes, because that's what horses do. One horse was reading a morning paper, and several were reading magazines. I need them kind of horses. At least three were dipping into a large box whose cover, off to one side on a table, bore the words fine chocolates. They were munching these in the sort of daydreamy way people have when they are reading and eating at the same time. The soldiers and the horses were so startling that it took a moment to realize there was a bed in the room with a truly odd looking man reclining in it. His face, framed by two rumpled bed pillows, was an amazing network of fine lines. Oh, girl, you might need to go get him, go to the medical spa and get them to do a peel or something on his face. They made him look not so much old. Oh, don't get a chemical peel then, sir. As they did an impossible jigsaw puzzle. His arms were remarkably tiny. See a T-Rex? He got them T-Rex arms like this. And covered by the sleeves of pajamas that had exactly the same red and white stripes as Perfecta's own. But most surprisingly was his shiny bald head, which joined right to his body without the benefit of any neck at all. I know a dude like that. I was stationed with him at a base. He was like this, and it's not to make fun of people with no necks, but I used to be like, sir, you gonna have to get. I told him one time, those little gold rings that like some African tribes put around their neck. I told him he needed to get those and just extend that sucker a couple of notches, crank it up. Anyway, I feel like this person that's laying in the bed need them too. Sir, go get some of them African gold rings and pump it up. The man must have been weeping for some time because the tears coursing down the lines of his face had already caused a large damp spot on his thoroughbred pink blanket. Sir, go get some water. You're going to dehydrate. It would seem that the arrival of a young boy in a sailor suit and a young girl in red and white striped pajamas would have caused some kind of stir in the room. Instead, the soldiers continued to stand at attention with expressionless faces, which they're supposed to do. They are soldiers. They probably stand at attention. That's what they trained to do. So good on the soldiers. While the horses looked mildly interested for only a moment, then went right back to their reading and eating, of course, honey. The only one who gave any real sign of caring that Puck and Perfecta had arrived was the man in the bed, who busted out with a fresh wave of tears. Oh my God. It took him some moments to collect himself before he could manage to wave a tiny arm at Perfecta. He like, come here, girl, come here. His arm's tiny. He like, I ain't got no neck. I can't turn my neck. What changes are you here for, little girl? Perfecta exchanged puzzled glances with Puck. I'm not here for any that I know of, she replied. The man blew his nose with a loud honk. Then why are you wearing red and white pajamas? Because I didn't have time to dress, said Perfecta, matter-of-factly. The man studied this reply briefly. Well, that explains that. Still, you must be here for something. What story or rhyme did you say you were from? I certainly like to know which one is so acceptable it doesn't require any changes. But we're not from any story or rhyme, Puck said. We're real children. Pinocchio said that same line, and he was in a story and he wasn't real either. So what? Are y'all Pinocchio? What's going on here? Oh, mercy. Oh, dear me, wailed the man. Real children. Are Mr. Snoot and those beastly aunties, Grumper and Squint, starting on them now? If I were you, I'd flee as quickly as possible. Y'all better throw them covers on and get on out there, baby. Go find that exit, because this seemed like a little crazy. Okay? Y'all gonna start smelling like mothballs. Perfecta hesitated. Are you from a story or a rhyme? The man wiped his eye. Have you ever heard the name Dumpty? Humpty Dumpty! Puck and Perfecta shouted at the same time. Okay, they acquire, period. There, you see, Mr. Dumpty thumped his blanket with a little fist. Humpty simply goes with Dumpty, doesn't it? But Mr. Snoot and the aunties are trying to change it to Horace or Harvey or Harold. Could you imagine that? By the way, I'm playing Humpty Dumpty today. Y'all see my cracks? I fell. And all the king's horses and all the king's men put me back together again. Okay, period.
Oh, wow.
Yes, honey. They need to put my closet together too. Horace Dumpty, said Perfecta, trying it for sound. I like it.
Horace Dumpty.
Horace Dumpty. What y'all think? Put it down in the comment section. Scott, what you think? Horace Dumpty.
Well,
It's better than Drooper.
it's better than Trooper.
It's better than Perfecta. Told y'all about them names now. Then she giggled. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that it sounds so funny. No need for apology, said Mr. Dumpty. Of course, the name is only the beginning of it. He dropped his voice. You may have noticed that I'm not alone in this room. It would have been difficult not to notice it, but Puck and Perfecta politely nodded their head. Mr. Dumpty recited. Okay, y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for what he recited? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, huh? Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, huh? All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Uh-oh, period. Then he sighed. Alas, it's too true. Although I was fortunately hard-boiled at the time of the accident. So all I suffered was these cracks that you see. But they couldn't do a thing about it, as my rhyme states, and I wish they would all leave, particularly the horses. Yeah, because they eating up all your damn candy and being annoying. Although the soldiers remained expressionless, the horses looked injured. If you that damn injured, get out his room and stop eating all his chocolate. They went right on reading Mr. Dumpty's newspaper and magazines. However, not to mention eating all his fine chocolates. Can't have nothing. At any rate, I'm used to what I am, name, cracks, and all. Where would I be otherwise? Mr. Dumpty added wistfully. I might have ended up no more famous than any egg on the grocery shelf. Let me tell you something. You would have got famous, sir. And let me tell you when. When the eggs went high. When the eggs were high, they was like $26 over here in America. You, sir, would have been popular as hell because everybody was screaming about them eggs, sir, when we had the bird flu. Okay, you could have been famous, sir, if you had came here at the right time because them eggs was like $800. So like the others, I don't want any changes. None at all. The others, asked Perfecta. So wait. Let's just move around here. So these fools are running around trying to perfect fairy tales. Mr. Snoot and them.
Well, I guess so.
Oh, I'm not the only one here for changes, you know. None of us want them. Not even the ones who are unlovable. It's what makes them them. If you know what I mean. Well, I ask you, what would Captain Hook from Peter Pan be without his badness and his wicked hook? Right, what would he be? Just be a grumpy old man yelling at them kids to stay off his grass.
Yeah, just be Captain.
Period. That's boring. Or the stepsisters from Cinderella without their meanness and their big feet. Period. As for getting rid of Dorothy's Oz or Alice's Wonderland, I couldn't bear to think about it. But it's all nonsense. Say Snoot and Glumper and Squint. Well, we don't think it's nonsense, said Puck. And we're here to put a stop to whatever it is they're doing. Girl, all you can do is cower under some covers of the night being invisible. What y'all gonna do to stop them people? Oh, would you? Could you? Fresh tears poured down the cracks on Humpty Dumpty's face and splashed into his blanket. You know what? I gotta change his name to Horace Dumpty if you're nasty, honey, because that's what we doing over around here. Remix that name. Well, or we'll really try, replied Puck, though we don't quite know where to begin. Mr. Dumpty tapped his bald head with a tiny finger. Oh, wait, he got tiny fingers. We gotta go halfway with that. I think you might begin at the same place one begins in a book, at the beginning. In this case, that would be with the author in charge, the one who takes care of our books. At least he did in the past. I talked to him myself, except that he hasn't been around in a terribly long time. And Snoop, Glumper, and Squint have threatened me with extinction. How the hell they gonna make you go extinct, sir? You are a whole hard-boiled egg with a bunch of cracks in them. How does that go extinct? Anyway, if I ever set one foot outside the door, where can we find him? Asked Puck. Well, the first place I would try is his room down the corridor. Girl, just sneak out the house. Like, sir, just sneak out the room. How they gonna know? This is before video cameras and stuff, because this book was written in like the 90s, maybe even the 80s. Sir, just sneak out the room and go down there and go talk to that man. What they gonna do? Anyway. If he's not there, I'm afraid you're on your own. I must tell you confidentially. Mr. Dumpty lowered his voice again. I suspect foul play. Don't worry, Mr. Dumpty. Puck bobbed his head determinedly. We'll find him. Oh, please try, sobbed Mr. Dumpty. I don't know if I could bear another visit from those three. Mr. Dumpty over here sounding like whatchamacallit from the Hitchhiker's Guide. The robot, Marvin. He sounded depressed. Like, sir, you need some antidepressants and a therapist. And to stop crying all over the place, because this is ridiculous. Anyway, at this, Perfecta ran up to Mr. Dumpty and whispered, when they come, just say to yourself, Pooms, Pooms. Pooms? What an odd word, said Mr. Dumpty. Whatever does it mean? Is it a magical spell? No, it just means poo on old Mr. Snoot, explained Perfecta. It won't get rid of him, but it helps a lot just to say it. You want to know what else will help a lot that Humpty Dumpty could say?
What's that?
Cuss him out. Just cuss Mr. Snoot out and his two little aunties. I promise they won't come back in their room. My daddy used to cuss people out, and people would just move out the way. Anyway, it won't get rid of them, but it helps a lot just to say it. Oh, thank you, my dear, said Mr. Dumpty with a watery smile. As Puck and Perfecta left the room, Mr. Dumpty was silently forming the word Pooms, Pooms, while casting a look of despair at a horse who had just taken an exploratory nip from a chocolate, and upon discovering that it had another cherry cream, carelessly set it right back into the box. I would have cut. You probably need to be cussing them horses and them soldiers out too, while you got the momentum going. Get them on out. Perfecta had no idea that a horse could be so rude. Poor Mr. Dumpty. That's the end of the chapter.
No.
Okay, guys, y'all know how when we end a chapter, what we do around here. What did you guys learn? Put it in the comment section. Scott, what did you learn?
Well, things are more than just interesting. Perfect Acres Inc. Pretty wild.
Mm-hmm. You got a man and his two aunties, a grown man and his two aunties, telling fairy tales like you need to update your name. It needs to be Horace or Harvey or Henry or maybe Drupert. Okay. And you got fairy tales just running around here crying. So we got some problems. Oh, and by the way, 2 abandoned children that got abandoned by Uncle Ma. So period. We got a lot going on here. This story is crazy. Something that I learned is justice best serve those who serve themselves. Ain't no way I'll be sitting up in a room crying with a bunch of cracks in my face. I mean, the worst has already happened. And not telling them people where to go and how to get there, honey. So Horace Dumpty, if you're nasty, needs to go ahead and let them people know what time it is and what time it ain't. Okay. That's what he needs to be doing. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what he gonna do. Did you have anything else, Scott?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, we're going to end this today. And of course, well, I don't know. Should we come back for, I guess it is Easter. So we definitely going to do Sunday Funday School tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow with Sunday Funday School. And then we'll get deeper into this book because, they over here trying to remix fairy tales and whatnot and hold them hostage and captive. So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us because as always, we enjoyed having you guys with us. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some lives, some shorts, some videos, make yourself at home around here. And from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, even if we are locked in a room with a bunch of disrespectful horses eating up all our chocolates and reading our papers and a bunch of soldiers just doing what soldiers do, peace, love, and happiness. We'll see you guys tomorrow.